Hey guys, and welcome to another Euro 2024 preview on Football On Site. The Euros are starting just in a few days, so I decided to go ahead to create a preview for all the other groups, Group B, C, D, E and F, in the same video. You can check the Group A preview in our previous video. Of course, make sure to subscribe, hit that like and bell buttons to be aware of all the Euro 2024 content. Let's go! Group B has three favorites or near favorites in Spain, Italy and Croatia, with Albania hoping for a miracle to progress from this group of death. Spain has a deep team with numerous good choices in many positions, but overall this team lacks the star power of their golden generation. Luis de la Fuente likes to line up a 4-3-3 formation. I'm pretty confident that the lineup you see on your screen will be their starting lineup, but there may be a couple of changes here. Fabian Ruiz may start for Mikel Merino, while Cucurella may be preferred for Grimaldo at left back. Spain has decent options for Fantasy League. Rodri is a great value, costing only 6.5 million in midfield. He is Spain's penalty taker and had great statistics this year, scoring 9 goals and assisting 14 with Man City. Nico Williams is a fast and very skillful player and expect him to provide both goal and assist value for only 7 million at midfield. The same can be said for Lamine Yamal, who may be a great budget forward option at only 6.5. The problem is that there are just too many forward options in Fantasy Euro 2024, and I don't expect Yamal to play for more than 70 minutes per game. Finally, in defense, Grimaldo offers a decent value for goals and assists at only 5 million after a great season with Leverkusen, while Lenormand is a lock to start in defense and is a good budget pickup at only 4.5 million. The winners of Euro 2020, Italy, had a shaky qualifying campaign, but after surprisingly missing the World Cup, thankfully this time they managed to progress to the major tournament. Italy's starting 11 is a bit of a mystery. They've used both 4-3-3 and 3-4-3 as their formation, so bear in mind that the coach Luciano Spalletti has seemingly not yet found the perfect starting 11. Based on their latest friendly with Turkey, let's assume that Spalletti starts a 4-3-3. Here Cristante may also start in midfield in place of Fratesi. Matteo Retegui has been the best striker for the Italian national team, but he may also be dropped in favor of Scamacca or Raspadori. Finally, if Italy plays a 3-4-3, expect Di Lorenzo to start in the three-man central defense, with Raul Bellanova playing as a right wing-back, with Barella and Jorginho in central midfield. The uncertainty with the starting 11 makes it difficult to consider them for your fantasy team, but I would consider Di Marco, who has been great in this past couple of seasons and offers a consistent attacking threat from left-back position. He will cost you only 5 million. Another option is Jorginho, Italy's main penalty taker, and he also costs only 5 million in midfield. This Croatian generation led by great Luka Modric just does not go away and look to surprise the world once again. Expect them to start in a 4-3-3 formation. There are a couple of doubts in defense and the attack. If Guardiola starts as a left back, expect Šutalo to partner with one of Pongracic, Erlic or Vida in central defense. If Guardiola starts as a centre back, the left back position will be occupied most likely by Barisic. Mayer and Kramaric are locks to start in attack, with one of Budimir, Perisic or Ivanušić joining them. Budimir, I think, is the most likely option. Finally, Albania, surprise winners of their qualifying group, now drawn in a very tough Euro 2024 group. They will start in a 4-2-3-1 formation. I don't expect much from this team, but overall Albania has a decent squad with notable players like Cristian Aslani, Armando Broja and Berit Džemsiti. Now on to Group C. England is a clear heavyweight of this group, but Denmark, Slovenia and Serbia will also be fighting to progress from it. England in general is one of the main favorites of the tournament. They've been to the final of the Euro 2020. This generation is perhaps their greatest, and maybe, just maybe, perhaps it is coming home this time. Gareth Southgate has finally started playing 4-3-3, and Harry Maguire's injury opens the path for Mark Guehi to start. The only doubts that I have is about the left back and Declan Rice's partner in central midfield. Kieran Trippier is likely to get the nod at left back, while one of Alexander-Arnold, Mainu and Gallagher can fancy their chances to play in the starting 11. I'll personally go for a more exciting option of Alexander-Arnold. In Group C, England gives us the best fantasy options. 48% of fantasy team owners have selected Harry Kane, despite him being the most expensive player along with Kylian Mbappe. I will buy Kane to my team definitely, because not having him means missing out on many goals and falling behind in your fantasy leagues. You should also choose one of Bellingham, Foden and Saka to your midfield depending on your preference and budget. At this point I lean towards Foden at 9, as Bellingham's attacking form has suffered a little bit in recent months. England has so many other options. Mark Guehi is likely to start in the team and will cost you only 4.5 million. If Alexander-Arnold starts, expect him to take set pieces and get you points for assists for only 5.5 million. Finally, Jordan Pickford is one of the 3 goalies I am deciding among for my fantasy team, coming at a decent price of 5 million. Denmark has a quality team and is a perennial dark horse candidate to make an upset in major tournaments. This worked out great in the previous Euros, but not so much in the recent World Cup, where they failed to progress to the knockout stage. Expect them to play a 3-4-1-2. There is a chance that Simon Kjær plays for either Westergaard or Andersen in central defense, but the recent friendlies and Denmark's qualifying campaign makes that unlikely. The only other doubt about the squad may be the choice between Victor Christiansen and Alexander Ba in wing-back position. Serbia also has a decent squad featuring the likes of Milinkovic-Savic, Tadic, Vlahovic, Mitrovic and other familiar faces, but they have not had any success on the international level for more than 2 decades now. This is Serbia's first Euros since 2000. They are likely to play a variation of 3-4-3 with Mitrovic as the sole striker, but when you have an option like Dusan Vlahovic, it's very difficult to leave the starting striker for Juventus on the bench on a team like Serbia. If Vlahovic plays, he will likely come on for Gudel, with Milinkovic-Savic moving into a deeper position. Slovenia joins its qualifying group rivals Denmark in Group C to surprise the world by making it to their first major tournament since 2010. They are led by 2 top-class players in Jan Oblak and Benjamin Šeško. Slovenia is likely to play a conservative 4-4-2. This is most likely their squad, but there's a slight chance that Tommy Horvath may come in for one of the midfielders. Group D has perhaps the biggest favorite of this tournament, the juggernaut France team, joined by other favorites Netherlands, along with Austria and Poland. France was upset in the second round of Euro 2020 by Switzerland, but they came back roaring and almost won the second World Cup in a row. The core of this France team is still the same, with Mbappe, Griezmann, Rabiot, Giroud, Hernandez and company coming together to challenge for another major glory. Their formation is still 4-2-1-3, with Griezmann in that number 10 position, where he has been impressive both for France and Atletico Madrid. Tchouaméni's injury casts doubts regarding the double pivot position. Expect Rabiot to partner up with one of Camavinga or Fofana. The only other doubt is the choice at right back between Jules Koundé and Jonathan Klaus. Don't even think about overlooking Kylian Mbappe for your fantasy team. You can choose between many decent options for the third forward spot, but Mbappe and Kane should be in your Euros squad, no matter what. I would love to pick Griezmann as well, but there are only so many goals to go around in this French squad, so the choice between him and Mbappe is not that difficult. You can also purchase the attacking threat of Theo Hernandez from defense for only 5.5 million. The Netherlands has arguably the best set of central defenders in the world, but their attacking options are not as impressive. They are expected to start in 3-4-3 against France, but may play 4-3-3 against the weaker opposition. A lot comes down to the fitness status of Frenkie de Jong. If he is fit, he will likely start with Tijani Reinders or Jerdy Schouten. In defense, the main doubt is the third centre-back, with the choice coming down to Stefan de Vrij or Matthijs de Ligt. Frimpong has been great this season, but the wing-back position is still Dumfries' to lose. I think in attack, the only lock is Weghorst, since Koeman likes to play with a target man. Gakpo and Depay are likely to start, but Xavi Simons has had another great season with 10 goals and 15 assists and also deserves to start. In terms of fantasy league from the Dutch team, you can pick Wout Weghorst. He is a budget-friendly option for a third-choice striker in your team at only 6.5 million. The same goes for Bert Verbruggen, who is likely to be the starting goalie for the Netherlands, and he will cost you only 4.5 million. Denzel Dumfries, I always like picking him to my fantasy teams. His cost is 5.5, it's not that cheap, but he always offers attacking threat. He can always make assists and score goals, and at 5.5 it's not a bad bet to make. Austria has had an impressive qualifying campaign and have been playing very good football under Ralf Rangnick. It's a tough group for them, but they have a chance to squeak in as the third place team if they get a point from one of the favorites. Austria is expected to line up in a 4-2-3-1. Their star player David Alaba is out injured, but Sabitzer and Leimer have enjoyed good club seasons and will lead this Austrian team. My only doubt is between Kerfeld and Weber at centre-back. In terms of fantasy team, Sabitzer, who has scored 4 goals and made 2 assists in the qualifiers, is a decent midfield budget fantasy option at only 6.5 million. The Polish generation led by Robert Lewandowski is slowly fading away and finished only third in their qualifying group, managing to stamp their Euros ticket only through the back door of the Nations League route. Expect to see a 3-5-2. There are several familiar names in Kivior, goalie Szczęsny, of course Lewandowski and Zielinski, but frankly, I don't really expect Poland to do much in this tournament. Belgium are clear favorites in Group E. On paper it seems like the weakest group, which also features Ukraine, Slovakia and Romania. Much has been said about the lack of success of the golden generation of Belgium, but this team actually seems like a very curious blend of the older generation of De Bruyne, Lukaku, with younger players like Doku, Trossard and Onana. The world's best goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois is back from injury, but he has fallen out with the coach Domenico Tedesco, thus he is not on the plane to Germany. Castells is likely to start in goal, since he was preferred to Zelts in the June friendlies, but there are still doubts about this. Expect to see a 4-3-3 formation for Belgium, with Onana and Mangala in double pivot behind Kevin De Bruyne, and with Lukaku playing in between Doku and Trossard in attack. Lukaku has had a decent season and was the top goal scorer in the European qualifiers with 14 goals. I expect Belgium to win at least 2 games in this group and score a bunch of goals. Thus Lukaku at 9 million or Doku at 7 can be good options for your fantasy team. Vertonghen and Tiata at 4.5 and Faes at 4 million are all expected to start in defense and are good budget options. Expect Belgium to have at least 1 clean sheet in this group. Ukraine is one of the feel-good stories of this tournament. They had to play all their nominal home games abroad due to the war, but they still managed to go through to the Euros through the Nations League route. They have a very good squad with Real Madrid's Lunin in goal, La Liga's top goal scorer Dovbyk in attack, along with other players who have found success in the top leagues like Zinchenko and Tsigankov. Of course, talented but inconsistent Mikhailo Mudryk is also expected to start for Ukraine. The only doubt regarding the team is the choice between Brashko and Malinovsky to start in central midfield. I expect Ukraine to do well in this group, so they have a few fantasy options to consider. Lunin is a good budget option as a goalie at 4.5 million only. Dovbyk is also a decent consideration for attack at 7.5 million. Not much is expected from Slovakia in this tournament, but the forgiving group draw gives them a chance to progress to the knockout stage, even though, even in this weak group, they seem like the worst team. This is their expected first 11. They have PSG's Milan Skriniar, Napoli's Lobotka and Feyenoord's Hanko, but the rest of the team does not inspire much confidence. Romania unexpectedly topped their qualifying group, going undefeated. Both of their June friendlies ended in goalless draws, so Romania does not look particularly dangerous either. The coach Iordanescu has rotated quite heavily, so it's difficult to predict Romania's starting 11. The defense is led by Tottenham man Radu Dragushin, while the captain Stanciu is expected to line up as a number 10. Cicaldao, Marin and Puskás are all likely to start as well. Last but not least, Group F featuring favorites Portugal and 2 other solid teams in Turkey and Czechia, along with the newcomers Georgia. Portugal is of course expected to top this group. They have breezed through the qualifying group with 10 wins out of 10, as it looks like finally Portugal has a coach suitable for the wealth of attacking talent at their disposal. Portugal's formation is 4-3-3, but there are several doubts in this squad. Who is going to play next to Ruben Dias in central defense? There is a tough choice between talented youngsters Antonio Silva and Gonzalo Inacio, along with Pepe, who is of course still playing. Dalot and Cancelo are more likely first-choice fullbacks, but Nuno Mendes can push one of them out to play as a left-back. There is also a debate about the first-choice left attacker between Rafael Leao and João Felix, which honestly should not be a debate at all. Leao is a better player, but he has been overlooked for Felix at times in the qualifiers and friendlies. Cristiano Ronaldo is still going strong with 10 goals in the qualifiers, but he should be your fantasy team option, only if you think he's going to score more than Kane and Mbappe, as Ronaldo is the third most expensive forward at 10 million. Another expensive but logical pickup is Bruno Fernandes at 9.5 million. He has scored 6 goals and made 8 assists in the qualifiers and has been in a great form in recent months. Led by their new Italian coach Vincenzo Montella, Turkey came back to top their tough qualifying group against Croatia and Wales. The team is led by captain Hakan Çalhanoğlu of Inter and has several exciting young talents like Arda Güler, Semih Kılıçsoy and Kenan Yıldız. But Turkey is a maddeningly inconsistent team capable of beating Germany, only to go back and lose to Austria 6-1. There are many doubts about Montella's preferred first 11, but injuries to other centre-backs will likely bring back Merih Demiral to the starting 11. Çalhanoğlu is the only lock in midfield, as Orhan Kökçü, İsmail Yüksek and Salih Özcan will fight for 2 other central midfield positions. Expect Kenan Yıldız on the left, İrfan Can Kahveci on the right, and one of Yazıcı or Yılmaz to start as false 9 in absence of injured Enes Ünal. Arda Güler most likely to start on the bench and act as an impact sub. Even the goalie position is seemingly up for grabs, contested between Uğurcan Çakır and Mert Günok. Hakan Çalhanoğlu is your best fantasy bet from the Turkish side at only 6.5 million. He is Turkey's penalty taker and set piece taker, so he offers some value for both assists and goals. Czechia is another tough team in this group, boasting talented and experienced players like Patrick Schick, Vladimir Coufal and Thomas Soucek. They will battle with Turkey for the second spot in this group. Czechs are expected to have a 3-4-1-2 formation. The Leverkusen duo of Schick and Hlozek are likely to start in attack, with Lukas Provod just behind them. Coufal and Jurasek are this team's wingbacks, but Soucek's midfield partner is a question mark after Shadelek's injury, as one of Krejci or Barak may step in. It looks like Stanek will be the starting goalie, not Kovar. Soucek is a cheap and reliable fantasy league midfielder option at only 6 million, who has scored 3 goals in the qualifiers. Finally, Georgia is the most surprising participant of the Euros after knocking out favourites Greece in the Nations League final. The most familiar face is of course Napoli's Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. He will be the main goal threat of this Georgian squad, expected to line up in a 3-5-2. Mamardashvili is a very good starting goalie too, while George Mikataudze is another noteworthy player for Georgia. He has scored 13 goals for Metz in France this season. That's it for my Euro group stage preview. The next video will be my bracket predictions and my fantasy team. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video and hit that bell button to be notified about our future videos and to help this channel grow. Thank you, this is Football Inside and see you on the next one.